The Rangers head coaching vacancy did not last too long. Chris Drury finally got his guy in Mike Sullivan, and the Rangers introduced Mike Sullivan earlier this week. Let's talk about it with Rangers beat writer Mollie Walker. Mollie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me this afternoon. So, Mike Sullivan, you were at the press conference. What were your biggest takeaways from his introduction?
I thought one of the most unique parts of the whole press conference was how evident Mike Sullivan's familiarity and comfortability with the Rangers roster is. He said that it was within his first two thoughts within getting the job presented to him. First was that it was hard not for him to get excited, and the second one was his familiarity with the Rangers roster. As recently as February, he coached four Rangers at the Four Nations tournament in Adam Fox, Vincent Trocheck, JT Miller, and Chris Kreider. So that's a really good chunk of the Rangers core at the moment. So he really expressed his comfortability with the roster. And he talked about Adam Fox at one point as if he's coached him for years. So I think that that played a role in Sullivan wanting to come to New York for sure.
Sullivan and GM Chris Drury have a long-standing relationship. So how do you think that relationship affected Sullivan's decision to come to New York? And how much pressure is there on Drury for this to work out?
I definitely think that it played a factor in Sullivan's decision to come to New York for sure. I mean, there was clearly familiarity between the two during the press conference. It was definitely a different vibe than we've seen in the past with the last two head coaches. It was a known thing that Drury didn't have a pre-existing relationship with Gerard Gallant or Peter Laviolette. So I think that there's a lot of encouragement that goes into being familiar. And Mike Sullivan himself said that he felt like it was really important for the head coach and the GM to have a good relationship. So we definitely saw that. And as far as how important it is for this to work out for Drury, it obviously is huge. I don't know how many head coaches he has left to hire. So this one is definitely got to be the home run for him.
One other piece of news that came out, you reported on Friday that defenseman K'Andre Miller was dealing with an upper body injury and elected to undergo surgery for that. Are there any more updates, and do you think this could affect a possible trade this offseason?
Well, he's projected to return by around the start of next season, so that's a good thing. It shouldn't impact his next season, but in terms of how it affects his offseason, obviously this is a very pivotal offseason for K'Andre Miller. He's in need of a new contract as a restricted free agent with arbitration rights. So there's a couple different directions that Chris Drury could take with this. The injury doesn't exactly make him the most enticing trade target, but the fact that he is on a good timeline, maybe it doesn't. But at the same time, do the Rangers really want to let K'Andre Miller go and become a major successful two-way defenseman for another team? Probably not. So this is a homegrown, organizationally grown player here. So we'll see what ends up happening, but I'm not sure it'll have too much of an effect on his offseason.
Well, it's already been a very busy offseason for the Rangers and for you, Mollie. Thank you so much for taking the time this afternoon.
Of course, thanks for having me.